everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to do a video purely on winged eyeliner and how I like to do it on myself, and I'm going to give you guys a couple of tips on how to make it easier for yourself to do it and how to really master the art of winged liner. I also put lashes on as well because I feel like without them the look isn't really that amazing. I feel like lashes, if you're going to do a simple look, I think the lashes and the winged eyeliner really make it pop. So if you want to see how to get this look, then just keep watching. See you later. Okay, so whenever I start with any eye look, particularly a winged eyeliner, and I want to keep it super clean and neat, I always start off with an eye primer, and I regularly use the MAC Painterly paint pot, and I just honestly just use it with my fingers. I feel like that's the easiest way to do it. And this is just going to make everything look cleaner, neater, and just, I guess, more fresh. So you can blend it from the bottom of your lid all the way up until your brow bone. So once you've got your primer all over your eyes, you want to then set it with an eyeshadow. Just so the colour, because this colour basically is a little bit too pink for my skin, so I like to set it with something a little bit more kind of neutral. And as in my last tutorial, I used the Kat Von D Shed and Light palette, and I use this every day, and the colour that I use to set is this colour here. So I'm just going to use 217 brush, take that colour, and then just go all over the lids. Also, if you have a primer that you really like, such as the Urban Decay Perversion, and you feel like that's a little bit too yellow, then go and set with a powder a little bit more kind of pink tone, something like that. Whereas this one's a little bit pink, so I set it with something a little bit more yellow. I feel like this is my favourite step when it comes to doing makeup. I feel like it's the start of like a painting, or like the start of a drawing, like laying down the canvas for what you want to create. Okay, so now you've got the eyes nicely prepped. I'm going to talk to you a bit about a couple of options for eyeliners and what I like to use for winged eyeliners. Now, I find that I can't just use one thing for the whole eye. I do think you need to mix things to get what you want. If you want a very precise wing that almost goes into nothing, it has a beautiful point, you're going to need either a very thin brush or an angled brush, so you can kind of create that kind of off into nothing, or you can use like a felt tip liner. This is the Kat Von D tattoo liner, which is a brush tip. Now I think, this is just preference, if you're going to use the tattoo liner or something like this all over your eye, it's not going to be as good or look as good as if you were using a gel liner. So what I like to do is I use a black waterproof gel liner from here to here, and then to create that kind of very gradual flick, I use something that I have a little bit more control over. Sometimes on clients I'll do the gel the whole way, and then I'll go back, clean it up a bit, and then create the point with the felt tip liner. So really it's down to preference what you prefer to use, because if you've been doing makeup for a while, you'll know what you like and what you don't like. Of course, there are different ways to do it. You could do a very soft, smudgy look. You could do a gel liner, wait for that to dry, go over with black shadow or blue shadow and soften that out. There's so many different ways you can do it. So I'm going to start off by tightlining my top waterline, because if you want the focus to be on the wing liner, you want it to look really clean. You want to make sure that this part is nicely blacked out, and you just want there to be no gaps. You want everything to look perfect. One of my favourite waterproof liners is the NYX Retractable Liner. It's cheap, it's affordable, and it's amazing. I have to say though, not all the colours are great. The black one is the best one. So I'm just going to use this to tightline. And I'm really bad at filming this, so I do apologise. Okay, so while that dries, you want to make sure you don't get any transfer onto the bottom tightline. You will, because when you blink, obviously it's going to go down to the bottom, but unless you're smoking out the bottom, you don't want anything there. So just take a Q-tip and just clean up before the eyeliner dries. Okay, so once you've got some nice definition on the top of the eye, you can then go in and create the shape you want. Now with most winged liners, you want to start very thin here and go thicker here, but it also depends on your eye shape as well. Like if you have very almond eyes, you won't need to go as thick on the outer corner because you already have the almond eye. If you have very round eyes, you can really accentuate that. Now, also if you have hooded eyes, it also looks great to go thicker on the outer corner because you're almost cutting into the skin that folds over the eye like that, and you're almost lifting the eye and bringing it up. There's different types of wings as well that you can do. There's a kind of a wing that goes straight out that almost looks like an extra lash, that almost just flows. You know what I mean when you do a certain wing and you just look straight ahead, it just looks like it just flows beautifully. You can also do a type of wing that's quite high up that lifts the eye a lot, but it doesn't have that kind of flow to it. Today I'm going to do something that has that kind of flow. The main reason that I don't like to do things that are too high is because when you have a heavy lid, you're going to have to do a very special technique for it to look good with the eye open, basically, because you're essentially cutting in to that fold. So the best thing to do when you have a hooded eye is to do something a little bit more flowing, a little bit more kind of parallel, but then thicken it up a lot towards the outer corner and going in. So a quick recap of what I've just spoke about. If you have round eyes, you can really thicken it out and go out and lift the eye. If you have almond eyes, you can practically keep it like the same the whole way around because you already have the almond eye. And if you have hooded eyes, don't go too high here, keep it straight here, but then go thicker on the outer corner. If you've got any questions, ask me down below. So I'm going to use my new favourite gel eyeliner that I discovered. I heard a lot of people talking about it and I was the last person to buy it, but I went into the Inglot store and bought the black one. Then I went back, well, I sent my husband to go back the other day and buy like 3 more colours for my kit. The black one is great. As you can see, it's brand new. I have the other ones in my kit that I use on clients. But I had to buy one for myself because it's that good. Oh my god, it's so amazing opening a new product. How great does that look? So it's very soft to work with. If you like something a little bit thicker, you might not like this, but it's very smooth to work with. It's waterproof, it works really nice inside the eye as well, and it doesn't budge, and like I said, it's waterproof. So I'm going to start off by using the Morphe M443, which is similar to the MAC. I think it's called the pointed liner brush, which retails at $20. This is like $3, so I thought I'd give it a go. So I'm going to take a little bit of that product and I'm going to start on the inner corner to create my shape, and then I'll go on with the wing after. Okay, so I'm starting at the inner corner with my eye open. You always have to do the inner corner with your eye open and almost raise your brows so you can really see the lid. And you want to do it very, very fine. You'll get to a point where you can't do it with the eye open because the lashes will be in the way, and then you have to close the eye. So I'm just going over until I get to that point. So it's probably about here, and then you'll need to close the eye to kind of carry on. I like to kind of turn my brush round and then go from the outer corner to the inner. So you've just got a nice kind of even line all the way around, and then you can go back in and thicken it up to give it the shape, kind of lift that you want to give it. I also like to take a little bit more of that liner and almost just go over the top of the lashes to make sure they're nice and black. Then I'm going to take the Elaina Badro synthetic liner brush, and I'm going to use this to create the angle of the wing. And I prefer using this to create the angle because it's a lot easier than using like a pointed liner brush, because with the pointed liner brush you'll have to hold your hand steady to get the line that you want, which I can do personally, but it's a lot easier to use something like this because you can almost pick the line out and almost just stamp it on the eye and then go back in to kind of perfect it and thicken it up. So I do recommend doing that because you will find that a lot easier. So I like to take a little bit of product, not too much, just to create that kind of wing. look straight ahead at yourself in the mirror and kind of figure out where you want it. Now on me, like I said, my lids are fairly heavy, so I want the wing to be a little bit further down here as opposed to cutting through here, because then it will make it look like I have no lid. So I don't want to take any space away from the lid. So I'm just gonna... So I've just done a rough line. I kind of went back and did a couple more just because I know I'm going to fill that in anyway, but I've just done it almost out to the side but just a fraction up, so it's not going to cut too much into the crease here. And then I'm going to go back in and fill it in with the pointed liner brush. So you want to bear in mind as well, if you've been using liner on this, it would have dried, so you want to get a new brush or clean this brush just so you don't have dried liner, because it's going to make it a little bit more difficult to use. So I'm just using a new brush. Then I'm just going to join at that line from the outer corner to the inner corner. So it's looking pretty good at the moment, and I'm going to go back in with the tattoo liner just to create more of a point and just to kind of make all the edges smooth, because sometimes when you're using a thicker gel product you can't get it as perfect as you want it to. That's why I like to switch up and use different brushes and create the wing. So as you can see, that's one eye done, that's one eye not done. I've kept it pretty simple. Sometimes I do go a little bit thicker here, but that's only really if I'm doing shadow. If I want to do a real simple winged liner with no shadow, this is what I normally do. So I keep it pretty thin all the way through, so I'm not taking much space from my lid, because if you have hooded eyes, you want to keep as much lid space as you can. And I've done just a very small flick, and I've carried on with that tattoo liner just to pull it out a little bit more. So now I'm going to do the other eye, and I'm going to put some lashes on and we can see what it looks like. So now that I have the lashes on, this one seems to be a little bit more full on the outer corner than this one. Maybe because I cut a little bit too much off when I cut them, but I'm going to add just a couple of the knot free flares in short black just to compensate for that. And I'm just using the Duo Glow. I do think though, when you do like a really simple eye and you have like the winged eyeliner, you do need to do lashes, otherwise it kind of just looks, I don't know, I just feel like it just makes it look so much better. Can't explain it really. So I'm just going to drop these on. Practically like right at the outer corner, just where the lash ends. These are the best things ever. If you don't know how to do individual lashes, you should practice, because if you just add like a couple on the outer corner of your eye, if you can't do all the way to here, they look so amazing, and they take, I feel like they take less time than strip lashes as well, for me at least. So as I've waited for the lash glue to dry, it's kind of partly dry, I'm going to go over with some black shadow, because when you get photographed or when you're taking photos, whatever, the latex from the glue has kind of a glossy finish to it, so you want to kind of matte it out with some black matte shadow. And once again, I'm using my Kat Von D black, taking that on an angled brush. This is a Sephora Precision, and this is for brows actually. I'm going to be using it for eyes. Now for lashes, I also have this amazing contraption here from, I believe it's from Japanesque, and the great thing about it, as opposed to regular lash curlers that have the kind of closed sides, this one doesn't have a closed side. So if you want to give a little bit of a lift to the outside, or you want to kind of press your natural and false lashes together, this is perfect for doing so. It's kind of not tricky to use, but it's definitely not for beginners, because you could possibly hurt yourself with this, so do be careful. But I'm just basically going to lift the outer corners and also merge the top and bottom together. Just gives it a really nice lift. Can you tell a difference? This also helps as well if you're looking from the side. Sometimes you can see when people put lashes on, you can see their own lashes here and then the fake ones here, because obviously the fake ones have a little bit more lift to them. So this really helps kind of hold them up and curl them without kind of using this, which is sometimes a little bit hard to fit everything in. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it kind of helped you along the way. I know I have a couple or maybe one other like winged eyeliner tutorial, but I feel like I use different products now and my eyes have maybe changed a little bit. So if you do have slightly hooded eyes, or even if you don't, you just want a really nice, clean, simple liner, I hope this video helped you, and let me know if you have any suggestions for other tutorials down below. Make sure to follow me on Instagram. I'm really bad, I have no idea what my Instagram name is. What is my Instagram name? Oh, it's Hayley Thompson Artist. So make sure you follow me on that, because I post photos like a couple of times a week if I can. And yeah, I will see you very soon. Take care. Bye.